Hey, good morning everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss Pre-Market Report for July 20th, 2016. I'm Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. I've made mention before that right now prices are overextended to the upside. They're sitting up here at levels we haven't seen before, and we're holding above that 2120 key level here. Very, very important level there. What I want to see here is how price responds up at these highs. Typically speaking, if I'm looking to buy, it'd be somewhere here or here. It's not going to be up here. So what I'm looking for is how is price going to respond. If it pulls back, that could be a nice selling opportunity back into support. Should it come into support, it could offer an opportunity to buy and retry for another push to new highs. But right now, not a whole lot to do. Very tightly coiled price action up here. Very narrow 5-day range overall compared to average. So right now it's very, very iffy up here, and you have to be very careful. Not a whole lot to do at this moment. If we drop into the intraday time frame here and look at the intraday at the ES here, there we go. We've seen a nice little push higher here so far this morning, and what you've seen is overall price pushing through the previous session's close after first being offered, coming back, making it support, also right at VWAP, and then continuing higher here. So what we got to see is how price responds here at the next test at VWAP. So 62, 63 is very important because 63 to 65 has been offered over the last week of trading. And so to push beyond 65s here and 63 and to come back and retest it, this is going to be important. So right now, bulls want to see how price responds between 63 and 62 here, as they're going to look to defend for another shot higher. Failure to hold VWAP opens up a return back toward 59 and perhaps lows near 55s. Let's take a look at crude oil. Here's crude oil, taking a look at the daily time frame of crude. Again, very similar to the ES, and not a whole lot going on right now. Very, very tightly coiled price action after price failed to reestablish acceptance back above 45.91s. There was a failure to see that acceptance and a continuation, and instead price dropped back below, and we've been chopping around value ever since. That's what I mentioned before. MCVPOC, this 45.88, that's 2-year value. This one right here, just below, that's 1-year composite VPOC. So right now, a lot of value in this zone, and prices are just chopping. And so whenever price is trading above and below value like that, just chopping back and forth, there's nothing really to do. Again, there's no real edge at the moment. But what we do know is that prices are significantly coiling. So at some point here, we will see some nice expansion to come. I would say above 47s here opens the door to much higher prices. But as price fails to continue to get above 47s here, that opens up a door to more weakness. But right now, tough to call either way. And really, you just have to kind of stay away until you actually know what's going on. And right now, prices are just holding in a range. If we take a look kind of at the intraday time frame here, there we go. You'll notice we're kind of in a trading range market in overnight trading so far. Again, 45.88 is here. That is micro composite VPOC. You can see how price just chops around that level over the last several days, and right now we're holding just below it in a range. So again, the fact that we're trading in a range here, this could be a fade the edges type of morning. So if price comes down here into 45.20s, that could be a fade back up. Should price get up here into 45.70s, that could be a fade back down. We do have crude oil inventories later on in the session, so that could be a catalyst for some significant movement. All right, let's take a look now at gold futures. What we talked about with gold before was that there was nothing to do again, but what we were looking for was a pullback into 1306 to 1310. That zone right there is a very important zone, and overall pulling back into that area could offer a very solid buying opportunity for the next push back toward 1360 or 1370. Failure to hold above 1306 opens up a return back toward 1250. So right now that's the major level to watch. What we talked about in the trading room was the fact that we had formed a double and triple inside day here over the last several days. So if I hide these here to make it a little more visible, what you'll see here over the last several days, we formed inside days, day over day, for 4 sessions here. That's very, very tightly coiled price action. And what I mentioned to our traders was the first move outside of that range is going to be likely a false move. And what we saw was price push beyond the 2-day highs and reject, and now we're pushing through the lows. That could be the sign here that we're likely pushing downward into that next area of support. Again, 1306 to 1310. That could be a zone here where, again, could be a nice opportunity to defend and buy. Otherwise, we could be looking at much more weakness ahead. All right, let's take a look at the NQ. Here's the NQ. This one, there has been quite a bit of divergence between the ES and the NQ. The NQ has been a bit more bullish than the ES, and you can see here after getting above 45.50, we've seen a period here where prices continue to find new highs and continue to find new higher lows. So this has been a mildly bullish instrument here as this thing is pushed above 45.50. But again, as I mentioned before, price can trade above 45.50. It can trade and continue to trade, but as soon as it gives it up here, it could be a significant push back because really these bulls aren't getting paid a whole lot just yet. So we got to continue to be patient here and see how this thing plays out. 45.50 is still the major level to watch, but on a higher time frame, still again, there's not a whole lot to go by right now after a significant rally. You just have to wait and see how this thing plays out. If we drop into the intraday time frame, here it is. Nice bullish overnight move so far, very similar to the ES. Pushing through the previous session's close, coming back, defending it at VWAP, very similar again, pushing to new highs. So I would say the next pullback here into 14.16 to 14.14 could offer a short-term buying opportunity for a push back toward highs. Failure to hold that level opens up a move back across the range. So keep that in mind. Right now, the key level, key zone is going to be 46.14 to 46.16. Failure to hold that level opens up weakness, but bulls want to keep that bid for an attempt at highs yet again. All right, that's it for now. Let's see how this thing plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck and trade well.